Welcome back to Vikes with a Mike. Tyler, good to see you. Been a little over a week since we last got an episode out there. Looking good. I dig the jersey, the Joey B jersey that you got on right now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good timing because we're gonna go over the Vikings.
Had to put her on.
That's right.
Had to put her on, man.
I love it. We're going to break down the 2021 to 2022 Minnesota Vikings schedule today. Going to go through the opponents, what we think of each of them, and we'll reveal what we think the Minnesota Vikings will end up with as their record at the end of the season. So
Big
some exciting stuff. Big, too early to predict episode. Should be very fun. But I mean, yeah, there's not much really else going on around the NFL at the moment. Maybe one thing of significance that we can touch on before we get started is the signing of Blake Bortles by the Green Bay Packers.
Or Tim Tebow controversy.
Also the Tim Tebow thing. Okay, yeah, there's two things that we could talk about. So what are your thoughts on the Green Bay situation? And then we'll go over to Tim Tebow.
I think it's hilarious. I mean, they did say they needed another body at quarterback for training camp and OTAs, but like I still find it hilarious them signing Blake Bortles. It's just funny. I don't know what it is.
I have yet to see the contract details, but that is going to be kind of the biggest thing in my opinion, right? Like if there's incentives in the contract, like starting incentives, I think that's a really good way to kind of quantify what is going on in Green Bay as far as Aaron Rodgers goes too, because you're signing a guy who was starting in the league 2 years ago, right? I think it was just the last year that he spent with the Rams. So he's been a starter in this league for many years in Jacksonville. I think it was like all five of his first rookie contract years. So I don't know. Like, what does that say about Jordan Love? What does that say about the Rodgers situation?
Well,
I think it's interesting.
Have you seen the clips of Jordan Love in practice?
Oh, I have. And yeah, if I was Green Bay, I'd probably think I had a better shot with Blake Bortles too.
Yeah. Seeing those clips, that just it makes my day.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a whole new dynamic if Rodgers is out of this division, man. It's going to be hopefully some purple dominance for quite a few years. But yeah, okay. And then moving on to Tim Tebow. Your thoughts on Tim Tebow, tight end, 33 years old. Granted, he's been playing baseball, so he's been playing at a professional level in some sport, at least staying maybe a bit in shape. You have to think, I mean, a professional football team signing a guy, you don't just sign a guy just to throw money at him. So they obviously think he can do something.
I don't know. He's athletic, but it's like the dude has never played tight end in his life, and then signed this 1 year. I mean, he's in shape, I'm hearing, but like the only reason they're signing him is because he played in college with Urban Meyer, was his coach. They have a good relationship. I don't really know what the point is of this signing. Jacksonville is kind of doing some weird stuff. I'm getting a weird vibe from that team. I don't know what it is. Like,
it is
Tim Tebow just doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah, very interesting. There's a lot of kind of controversy surrounding that pickup particularly, but hey, everybody has their place that they land. For me, quite honestly, it's as simple as this. I kind of can't wait to see Tim Tebow just get laid out in week one by a linebacker, like going across the middle or something. And I don't mean that in a bad way against Tim Tebow. Like, I want to see him get hurt or anything. I just think it's going to be funny because, like you said, he's never played tight end, especially at the top level of all. So
did you see the clip of him with the Jets running a route and he the ball hit his helmet? The quarterback threw, and it literally he was facing the complete wrong way. It hits him in the back of the helmet with the Jets.
That's amazing.
It was you got to see it.
I have no idea how it's gonna look, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, that's really it. That's all the super interesting non-schedule release, non-draft news that there's been so far. So let's just jump right into it, right? Okay, Week 1 at Cincinnati, Joey Burrow, Jamar Chase, the NFLSU Cincinnati Bengals over there. Week 1 at noon on September 12th. Very interesting game. I'm super excited for the Battle of the Gritty, I think what it's being called already. So that's very interesting. The comments that JJ have made, which personally, I don't want to stoop so low as to like say that he's drumming up any sort of quarterback controversy, but specifically about, Joe Burrow having a little bit more swagger than Kirk Cousins and all these kind of things. It's a very interesting Week 1 opponent. What are you thinking? And are you going to wear the Joey Burrow jersey Week 1?
I don't know the answer to that question yet, but I think it's a very interesting game. Mackenzie Alexander versus his old team and his other old team, the Vikings, which he's now on the team back with the Vikings.
True. Double revenge game for Mackenzie Alexander.
Randy Moss's son is on the Jags too.
The Bengals.
He's on the Bengals. I'm excited. This was a game I was circling on my calendar regardless, but I didn't think they'd be playing Week 1. When I saw it, I was shocked. I thought it was going to be like a Week 10 game at noon in Cincy. I didn't think this could be Week 1. I feel like it's a great way to start off the season, though. It's got some good storylines, and I'm excited.
I agree. So I have them winning this game personally.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing here too, quite honestly, when I look at Cincinnati, is the fact that they haven't upgraded their offensive line. The fact that Danielle Hunter is going to be going up against Riley Reef starting Week 1, which I thought was super interesting.
I forgot about Riley Reef. I should have brought that up. Wow.
I just think lots of Zim's old team. Like this is a game of a lot of storylines for sure.
The NFL knew what they were doing, I guess. I got the Vikings winning too, by the way. I think our tier defensive line is going to just dominate this game. I mean, I think we'll win by, I'd say like 10. It's not going to be like the biggest blowout, but I think the Vikings take it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think Week 1's always a little rough around the edges. So, but a win is a win. Week 2. Faced up against my guy Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. I have made a certain promise to Tyler about something to do with Kyler Murray that if all plays out, I may or may not be in possession of a Kyler Murray jersey by that time next year. So that'll be very interesting for me. I am stoked for this game. Pat Pete, obviously going back to the desert. And by the way, we have not talked about how Pat Pete has just been an amazing veteran presence already in Minnesota. He has absolutely just taken the Vikings culture and implemented it in what seems like every part of his life. Like he is just so into the Vikings. And I think that's awesome. So I'm super excited to see him going up against Arizona. Arizona has one of the most exciting offenses, at least that I'm excited for in the NFL. Their defense, not as great. So this could be a really fun game for us on offense too. This is going to be our first test, in my opinion, for this new Zimmer built defense. 2021, 2022. And I personally, I'll hear your thoughts first.
I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a really good football team in 2021.
Agreed.
I feel like the Zimmer defense is going to play well Week 1, but then they're going to see a new level of offense in Week 2. In my opinion, I think it's an L Week 2 to the Arizona Cardinals. I think it'll be a close game.
I agree.
I think it's a high-scoring football game. Like I think it's like maybe like 34-31, but I think Arizona just edges it out. I think it's just our corners are still new. I feel like they're gonna throw it downfield. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a toss up in my opinion, but I'm going to give it to Arizona.
No, I absolutely agree. And I actually have Arizona winning by a margin closer to 10 than like 3 or something like that.
Okay.
I think that there's gonna be a solid quarter basically of this game where they kind of shell shock us. And we're gonna start 1-1 in my opinion. And I can see a lot of Vikings fans freaking out after that second week, but
That's a good football team.
I don't think that there's a lot to freak out about, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, week 3.
Yep.
Guess who comes to US Bank, to Minnesota, opening up the home stadium for the first time? Fans fully packed in that stadium, freaking breaking down the big doors with how loud it's going to be. Seattle Seahawks, 3:25 p.m. I mean, America's game of the week, number 1. So nationally televised game, super fun. Number 2, the return of fans to US Bank Stadium, one of the hardest places to play in the NFL when it's fully packed, and it will be fully packed. And number 3, we're not going to Seattle to play a primetime game for what feels like the first time in freaking 70 years. I have no, actually, sorry, I'm not gonna say that. I want to hear your thoughts first.
I don't feel like I think the Vikings. I don't know if this is surprising to you. I think we pull out the W in this game. I feel like the fans energize the team a lot. First time in over a year that they've had a full stadium, especially at US Bank Stadium. It's one of the best. It's the best in the National Football League. I got to say it. Come on, the home field advantage. Russell Wilson doesn't know what he's getting into. The Vikes are going to pull this one out, man. I think it'll be close, but we're going to pull it out. The home crowd is going to pull them through this game, something they didn't have last year.
I not only have the Vikings winning this game, but I have way too early bold prediction. I have JJ breaking some sort of record in this game, whether it is receptions in a game, touchdowns in a game, yards in a game, whatever it is. I have Justin Jefferson going out there and dominating the Seattle Seahawks at home. Not necessarily blowing out the Seahawks. I just think that this is going to be an insanely fun game to watch. I don't think it's going to be super close. I'm willing to bet it's a 10-14 margin Viking victory, welcoming fans back to the stadium. That's how confident I am about this game.
Will Madison hit a hole this time?
Will Madison hit a hole? He's not going to have to. Dalvin's rushing for like 3,000 yards this year, man. Have you seen the pictures of him?
Yeah, I did.
This offseason? Yeah. That dude is looking buff. But yeah, okay. So 2-1 after the first 3 weeks of the season. And then week 4, Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns come to the bank. Noon, first week of October football. I mean, can't get any better than this, man. Obviously this is a big game for Vikings fans. You know, Kevin Stefanski, lots of connections to the Vikings and how many years he was here. For Zim and his coaching staff, maybe there's still a little bit of salt, left over from him maybe not doing all that he could in that game against San Francisco in the divisional round a couple years ago, because he knew he had this Cleveland job locked in. As far as Cleveland goes, you got a really stingy offense on that side with Jarvis Landry, a healthy OBJ, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, that pretty solid offensive line. Their defense has gotten them a lot better too. So this is going to be a slug fest in my opinion. But I also have this being the game where Zim's defense like really clicks. I think that this is where you're going to see Michael Pierce and Dalvin Tomlinson and their run stuffing abilities really show up here. They're going to be in the groove now that this is the fourth week, and well, you go ahead and give your thoughts, and then I'll kind of share where I have.
Cleveland's a good football team. I think is it Baker Mayfield? I think it's his first time against the Vikings in his career. I don't think he was starting last time we played them. So, it'll be a good game. Stefanski, I know he's gonna come ready and prepared. I know that for sure. I think it'll be a dogfight, like you said. I think it's just gonna be just a battle, but I think the Vikings pull it out barely. I think this one will be closer than the Seattle game, actually, honestly, because I feel like Cleveland might be a more complete team than Seattle, talking about offense and defense.
Which is crazy.
So I'm gonna go with the Vikings, but I think this one will be more like maybe a field goal kind of game.
I have to agree with you, but I do have the Vikings winning it. Because I think it either goes blowout or really close. Either way in favor of the Vikings. You know what I mean? It all depends on what Cleveland team shows up. Again, it's just a matter of like these teams will both be mostly in the groove by this point. And I think the fact that it's going to be at US Bank Stadium is what pushes it slightly over to our side.
Yep. I like it.
And then we got another home game. So 3 home games in a row here with week 5. The Detroit Lions at noon come to the bank. Them and that stingy Detroit team that we're so worried about. I don't know. I don't feel like there's a ton to here. I don't feel very confident in Detroit at all. I think that I don't even know what their schedule looks like, and I bet that they'll probably be like 0-3 or maybe have 1 win coming into this game at most, or 0-4, I guess, actually. But yeah, man, let's just say if we don't win this game, then the past 4 weeks we've already completely messed up this prediction. Let's just say that.
Okay. Jared Goff's that team's quarterback now. The last time he played at US Bank Stadium, he did terrible with a really good football team. The Vikings.
That's right. They only put up 7, right?
Yeah, with a good team really good LA Rams team. Yeah. No, Detroit's not winning. I mean, I don't think it's that close. I mean,
no, God, no.
Their wide receivers are horrendous. If you've seen the roster of the depth chart of their wide receivers, it's bad. Goff has no weapons. This defense isn't very good. Like I said, like I've been saying for months, Detroit still needs to rebuild this team completely. So Vikings win fairly easily, hopefully. They better.
Right. Easy for an NFL win.
Yeah.
As far as those go. And then week 6, we travel to Carolina. Matt Rule, Sam Darnold, and the Carolina Panthers. And how do I say this? No. There's no way that we lose this game, in my opinion. I don't see how. I think that Carolina hasn't really done enough, in my opinion, to really push themselves past the mediocrity that they have been for a while now. Matt Rule, I still don't really understand what kind of organization he's running over there. I don't know. There's not much that I'm like really looking forward to if I'm a Carolina Panthers fan as far as this game on the schedule.
I mean, Sammy Darnold under center. You got obviously CMC back in the backfield. I don't know. Carolina, again, they're just a fringe type of football team. I don't really see much out of them, much excitement, I should say, out of them. The Vikings should win this game. They're going to have some fans at this game. I feel like we'll see a lot of Vikings fans in Carolina for this game. Whatever. I feel like it's kind of going to be like the Cincinnati game with a lot less excitement. So I think they pull it out. but nothing special. I don't feel like they're going to go off. I think they'll get the job done. I mean, it's an NFL road game.
Yeah,
I think they get it done, but it's not going to be the most exciting fashion.
Well, again, it's like I don't really know the Carolina schedule, but if they're struggling up to this point, I think that this game and a game that we have coming up later here in just a bit could potentially be very close to like home field advantage, as close as you can when you're away. Just because at this point it'll be mid-October in Minnesota, people would love a reason to go to a Carolina Panthers game against Minnesota down there where it's a little bit warmer. And yeah, I don't think that there's really anything special enough on that roster to get over what we'll hopefully have still pretty intact by that week. So that is is that 5-1 that we have right now, I believe?
That's what I got.
Yeah, 5-1. And then obviously you can't lose the bye week. Week 7 bye, I think that's a great spot for a bye. You definitely want it within that week 7, 8, 9 type period where you can rest up, get some guys back maybe that got hurt a little earlier in the season just because their bodies aren't quite used to it. But it's not so late that like it keeps you from taking your momentum forward and going through the rest of the season with hopefully some good wins. Coming out of the bye though, week 8 here at the bank, Halloween night, the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a fantastic, fantastic game. However, I think it's going to be a slugfest, especially if Dallas is completely intact.
Yeah.
For some reason, the last time that we had them here in prime time. Now, to be fair, Zim wasn't at that game because he had his issues going on with his eye. So there's that. But we just weren't able to perform against this team when we definitely should have, in my opinion, that night. I'll leave it at that before you go ahead and give me your thoughts.
All right. Well, game after the bye week, prime time, big game versus the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a massive game in the season. This one's circled on my calendar for sure. First primetime game of the year. I think Kirk comes out a bit nervous. We struggle versus the Dallas Cowboys at the bank for some odd reason. And for the third year in a row, I think we take the L in this game just because of that. I don't think Kirk's going to have a great game. I think this probably might be one of his worst games of the season. I don't think Dallas's defense is anything special, but this team has our number at US Bank Stadium for some odd reason. I don't know what it is, but I'm picking the Cowboys. I have to, man.
You and I are on the exact same page. And what's so weird to me is it could easily be a toss-up, right? Like, because we have the bye week beforehand, technically we're going to have longer to prepare for this opponent per se. And our guys will have a little bit longer to study film on them. So theoretically, like, this is a great situation that you want coming out of a bye, because you get the bye week and then you get to wait all up until Sunday night to play against Dallas. Plus it's at home. Like, yeah, I think that this is going to be an extremely fun game, it being on Halloween night and all that kind of stuff. And I could easily see it going the way of the Vikings if our team is mostly intact and like all that good stuff, just because of the situation. But for some reason in my gut, I just have this feeling that we're going to lose this game, even though, like you said, their defense isn't really anything. And Kirk should have his way with this defense. Absolutely should have his way.
I don't know. So the prime time is going to get to him for the first game of the year.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I'm trying to be realistic here. And
no, I appreciate it. I'm the same way, man. Yep. So 5-2 after week 8.
Yep.
Interesting. Going into week 9 at noon, we play at Baltimore. First week in November. So this is where, football starts to heat up a bit more. I have Baltimore being vastly improved after the draft, which is honestly saying something because I feel like people forget that Lamar was an MVP very recently. But he now has a number 1 wide receiver, a number 2 wide receiver, and a number 3 wide receiver easily, just from the draft that Baltimore had. They also shored up other areas, got a little bit of some extra weight on that defensive line. And man, I have us taking an L here. I don't know what you have going on, but
yeah, I have the same first game versus Lamar Jackson in Mike Zimmer's career, I think. I mean, I don't think he's going to know what's coming. The same thing happened to the Patriots a couple of years ago, and Bill Belichick hadn't seen Lamar Jackson in game, and he absolutely shredded that team, the New England Patriots. I think I was with you that it was when we got back from Kansas City, I think. We were watching that game. It was Patriots, Baltimore.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he absolutely shredded the Patriots on prime time. I don't think Zim's going to be prepared for this game. Zim has those games where, it's happened last year. It's happened pretty much every year. There's just that game where our defense isn't prepared, and it's going to be this game. Lamar's just they're going to shred us on we're going to get absolutely shredded on defense. Kirk will have an all right game, but it's not going to be enough. It'll be one of those games where he puts up 20 plus points, but it won't not be enough.
Right. And I think that you kind of mentioned something that is really important, right? Like we always seem to have this one game of the year where we just don't show up for whatever reason, don't look prepared. And if we can get that out at what is now the midway point of the season at week 9 and have kind of a little slap in the face moment for our guys, especially with who we have coming up on the schedule after this game, I think that it's a huge deal for us. Now, so that being said, we both have them losing this game. So that means after week 9, your Minnesota Vikings, in our opinion, will be 5-3. There's going to be a lot of people knowing Vikings Twitter, knowing just the Vikings fandom in general that are losing their minds at this point. People probably calling for Zimmer's head, saying that we need to see Kellen Mond, whatever it is. Until the next week at 3:05, the 14th of November, in LA, which would be a fantastic game to be at, by the way, the Minnesota Vikings will take on the Chargers. And I say in LA, but the last time that the Minnesota Vikings played in LA, the entire stadium was filled with purple. The other massive, not massive, I shouldn't say massive. The other storyline that fans of both these teams will know about, probably not many others, is the Rookie of the Year conversation this last year. JJ is going to be hungry to put up another show because, again, I have him going off against Seattle when we open up the bank. But I think this is going to be another absolutely insane game. I think the Minnesota Vikings defense is going to absolutely shut down Justin Herbert, make him look like a freaking fool. I think that the Chargers are an improved team, but we have to remember that they still looked like trash. They just couldn't find a way to finish games last year. And a lot of that was based kind of on their defense giving up these huge plays. So, we'll be fired up after losing to Baltimore. Zim will really kind of crack the whip on these guys, and I think that we get a dub here. So 6-3.
Yeah, I agree. I see our defensive line absolutely eating this game. I think Herbert's going to get hit. I think we're going to get a lot of pressures. Their offensive line is somewhat fixed. They did get Rashawn Slater, but again, he is still a rookie in the NFL. They still have some missing holes on the rest of their offensive line. I think the Vikings are going to absolutely dominate on defense. I agree. I think Justin's going to have a good game. Kirk's going to throw the ball a lot in this game. They're going to run a lot of that play action in this game. The Chargers defense will get exposed. I have to say it. This might be Kirk's biggest game, most yards for sure. I think the Vikings are going to come out just throwing. I get that vibe from this game.
Right.
So
Yeah, because
I got the Vikings with the win.
yeah, I think that there's going to be quite a bit good that goes on in that game. That's going to be very interesting, in my opinion. I think there might even be some rushing accolades that go to Dalvin as well during that game. You know, we do have a history of having some pretty good run games against the Chargers. So,
yeah.
Week 11 is the first time that we see the Green Bay Packers this next season at the bank, noon o'clock. Now, I was talking with somebody yesterday when the schedule came out and kind of going through my schedule prediction. And we were talking about the Rodgers situation. And basically, I told them that I had us beating Green Bay both games in my schedule prediction. And I explained my reasoning why. And it was because I had Rodgers out of the league. And the person that I was talking to basically told me, well, you can't do that because Rodgers isn't out of Green Bay yet. You have to treat this football team the way it is right now. And right now, Aaron Rodgers is still the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. So I'm just going to preface this by saying if Rodgers is gone, the Green Bay games go differently, in my opinion. But since I'm playing it as the way the roster is right now, I do have us losing to Green Bay this week, week 11 at noon. It's just because I don't know. I just have Rodgers. If he's still on the team, which again he is right now, if he's still on the team, he's going to be even more pissed off. And who's to say that they're not going to freaking go undefeated because he's going to be beyond MVP level, at this point.
That makes sense. Do you want me to reveal both my Green Bay picks then? Because
no, just do the one and then we'll keep going.
Okay. All right. Well, House of Pain. It's actually noon game. Shoot, I thought it was Sunday Night Football.
It's a noon game.
Yeah. I think the Vikings take this game even if Rodgers plays. The House of Pain is going to be electric. Rodgers played in the most quiet. Rodgers played in the most quiet House of Pain last year. Torched the Vikings. He's not going to know what to expect. I mean, that game on Monday Night Football is just don't even bring that game. I don't know why I said that 2 years ago on Monday against Green Bay, but usually he struggles at US Bank Stadium. I think the Vikings pull it out. I just see it. Even if he does play, I think the Vikings are going to come out and I think their defense is going to play well. I think Adams going to have a really big game. I think Adams going to have a nice game. Dalvin's going to go off because that's what he does against Green Bay. He's literally the owner of that franchise. So Dalvin will probably guarantee at least 150 yards on the ground. I can guarantee you that actually. Kirk will do his thing. I think the Vikings win by 10 plus points.
I do want to make it clear that I love that, number one. Like, that would be amazing. But I want to make it clear that when I say that Green Bay is going to beat us this on week 11, it's going to be very, very close. Like, it's a toss-up game, in my opinion. So I can see it going either way if Rodgers is the quarterback easily. But yeah, I have them coming out of week 11 at 6-4, and you have them at 7-3. Okay.
Yep, 7-3. Yep.
Going to San Francisco, week 12, another nationally televised game, America's Game of the Week at 3:25. I don't think San Fran is going to be healthy. I don't think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the quarterback. Whether or not he's on the roster, I don't think he's going to be the quarterback. I should restate that because we just had the whole situation with Green, talking about Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay. Whether or not Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded at some point this season, that's not what I'm talking about. By week 12, I think that Trey Lance will be the starter. No doubt. I have them winning this game. I have the Vikings winning this game at San Francisco, just because I think that they are going to be missing a few pieces. We could easily be missing a few pieces too. But I know that on paper they still look very similar to that Super Bowl team. I gotta say though, I think that we're a better team than the last time that we faced off against them. To be honest, I do.
Yeah. Okay. I respect that. Going into this game though, right now, looking at it, I just see San Francisco. Every time we go to that building, we just don't show up. Monday Night Football in
Fair enough.
2015, we
Fair
didn't show
enough.
up. I think we put up 3 points. We didn't show up. The last time we played them in the playoffs, I don't think we showed up. We had one good quarter, not even. We had like one good drive, and then we just completely went away. This game, I don't even. If Trey Lance, maybe he's like, San Francisco's going to shut Kirk down. If they're fully healthy, I got an L on this one. If they're not healthy, I think the Vikings can pull it out. But it depends. But looking at it right now, with their roster being fully healthy, I'm going to take San Francisco.
I think the biggest thing to me is I like our upgrades on the offensive line more than I like just the same level that San Francisco's defense seems to be at. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they've still been dominant, but there's enough tape on them at this point, and I think our guys will be in the groove enough at this point that this will be kind of like the shocking game of the season. Because there also always seems to be like a game kind of where, are we going to win that? And then like they pull it out. Really pull it out. So that's mine. So I think we both now have them at 7-4. Okay, cool. 7-4. Going into week 13, first week of December football. This is where champions are made. And we're going to play at Detroit our first week in December, which is huge. Absolutely huge. Because again, as we said earlier, Detroit ain't anything. And quite honestly, I think that by now they will be the favorite for the number 1 overall pick.
Oh wow! Okay.
In this season, so who knows if they've even won a game or two yet? By week 13, in my opinion. So yes, absolutely. If we don't beat Detroit again, we've got much bigger issues on our plate.
I have the Vikes winning this game. Not much to be said. Detroit's terrible. We already talked about it. Their offense will struggle. Let's just say it, struggle, and it'd probably be even worse than struggle.
Absolutely.
8-4.
Then week 14. So going into week 14, 8-4, both of us.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
Looking good, might I add. 8-4.
Yep.
Solid record.
Yep.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Thursday nights after the Kitties at US Bank. Pittsburgh has not improved in any way that is significant enough for me to give them any advantage on this game. Who knows if Ben Roethlisberger will even be standing by this point? And I can guarantee you, if Mason Rudolph is under center, the Pittsburgh Steelers might not even put up a point. The TikTok boys aren't going to be doing anything either against this Minnesota defense if we're, fully in swing. Dude, if you're going to play a team before you go into a short week, like a Thursday night game, if you're going to have two teams that you have to face up against, I definitely take Detroit so that you get a win going into that game. And then absolutely Pittsburgh at home, because US Bank will be on fire.
Yeah.
You will have a solid record, and Pittsburgh is going to be dismantled, I think, by this point in the season.
Oh, man. You just said a lot of things. Yeah, I like it. I like Ben Roethlisberger, don't get me wrong, but I hope he gets drilled like 10 times in this game, because I want this Vikings defensive line to absolutely expose the Steelers offensive line, because you know how critique I've been on this offseason about them taking Najee Harris in the first round, which makes no sense in my opinion. I want to see the Vikings get at least 5 sacks. Here's what's going to happen though. It's a Thursday night game. I think our offense isn't going to play great, but our defense is going to shut them down. They're going to score under 10 points. It's not going to matter. Kirk won't have the best game in the world. It's going to be a sloppy Thursday night game from our offense, but our defense will shut them down completely. It'll be a defensive game, and our defense will absolutely shut them down.
Interesting. Okay, I like that, but I'm going to add something onto it. I think the defense, Minnesota defense, scores in this game.
Okay. Book it. I like it.
I think that there is either a fumble, interception, whatever it is, something is going to be put up on the board by the Minnesota Vikings defense.
Yeah, I like it. I'd love to see it.
So, yeah, not only will they shut them down, but they'll help the struggling offense that you have.
Yep.
So, yeah, Thursday, Pittsburgh, 9-4, both of us. Yeah?
Yep.
9-4 after week 14. We're looking pretty dang good at this point, and we're going into week 15, which is a Monday night game at Chicago.
Oh man, why?
Let me preface this by saying the past couple times that we've played them on Monday night in Soldier Field, I believe we've actually won.
Yeah, last year. Yep.
But if Justin Fields is starting this game, which I think he might be, I have the Vikings losing this game. And it's more so because I think this is kind of another one of those like didn't prepare well enough situations, even though they should be fine because they're playing, earliest game week 14. So they have extra time plus the extra day playing on Monday to like gear up for Chicago. They again should be fine. It feels like another Dallas situation with me. So yeah, I have them losing this game, but again with it's like the same scenario as Dallas. So this is very toss up for me. So at this moment, I have the Chicago, the first Green Bay game, and the Dallas game all as toss up losses, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. Chicago at home, we never perform. I mean, on the road, sorry. We never perform at Chicago, really.
Yeah, something about Soldier Field, man.
Here's the thing. Like, this Bears team could be 13-3 or whatever, 17 games now, 13-4. This Vikings team would still struggle at Soldier Field. They would still struggle. I have an L. I think it'll be by, like, maybe a little bit more than a touchdown. It's another game where I don't think they really prepare. And it's a December game outdoors at Soldier Field as well. I think we played them in like October or November last year. It's going to be freaking cold for this game. Yeah, no, we're going to struggle. The offense just won't be existent. And the defense won't be able to do enough.
I can tell you right now, it's going to be all dependent on the run game that's happening, right? So like,
yeah,
if Dalvin finds a way to really break down the Bears defense, which has been hard to do.
Yep.
Then something could click for us this game. And that's kind of why I have it as the toss up that it is, because this is going to be where Zim is like really pressing on that run first offensive mentality. And who knows, again, as far as departures in the NFC North goes, Chicago has lost a lot on defense, and they could lose Akeem Hicks still. And like there's a chance that this game won't be nearly as scary as it looks, because it's still about the players, not necessarily just the location. But absolutely 100% agree with you. The gut feeling is probably an L here. So 9-5.
Yep.
Going into
I got 9-5.
16, which again, not bad at all. Not bad for a 17-game season. Week 16 here at the bank, Matt Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. A noon game. I like our chances. I like our chances a lot. The last time the Rams came here, looked pretty dang good. Even when we had to go to Los Angeles the last time that we played against these guys, Yeah, we lost, but we put up a really dang good fight.
Yep.
I think that Matt Stafford is definitely in a better situation than he was with Detroit. I actually have the Rams potentially getting to the playoffs this season. I think that they are going to do better than Seattle, to be completely honest with you, in the division. So I think that this is a closer game, but I do think just based off the knowledge that our defense has, or like leaders on our defense have, of Matt Stafford, and the way that he seems to play in US Bank, um, I think it's going to be a good situation for us in the end. We'll get our 10th win of the season.
Yeah, this is kind of a toss-up game for me. I think Stafford with much better weapons around him and probably protection with the Rams is going to help him a lot. I mean, he does struggle at the bank quite a bit.
Yes, he does.
I think the Vikings. This is going to be a close game, but I think the Vikings will pull it out. The Rams have a stingy defense, but Dalvin Cook's going to just do something in this game that's special, and he's going to burst out a run or something. He's going to be loose. I mean, our offense will be too much. I think our defense will do a good job against Stafford. I mean, they'll get like 20 some points, but it's not going to be enough.
And so I think that you actually have brought up a great point too. We haven't touched on Dalvin enough, I think, like throughout this kind of the schedule breakdown. And there's a lot of these games that I have as L's where if he is doing as good as I think he is going to this season, I could see us losing a lot less games than I already have. You know what I mean? Like I could see us doing way better than I already have us doing. And you know, we'll see how these last two games go here, how you have them and how I have them. But I can tell you right now that I have the Vikings ending with a pretty dang good record. And yeah, I mean, if you can control the time of possession with a runner like Dalvin Cook and just wear down on the defense, this was a Minnesota Vikings team that I'm very excited to watch. And I definitely think that, yeah, Los Angeles, the Rams here at the bank, it'll be a great game for Dalvin.
You got 10-5, right?
I have 10-5 now. Yeah, that was the 10th win. I believe you do as well, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah. So week 17, we meet up at Lambeau with the Green Bay Packers Sunday night. An absolutely fantastic game, almost always. And I have it as an L right now because I have Rodgers on the roster. So yeah, both the Green Bay games for me, as long as Aaron Rodgers is on the roster. Again, the first one is way more of a toss-up. Like, could definitely see that one being a dub. This one here, if Rodgers is on the roster week 17, we are losing in Lambeau, which sucks. Because there may or may not be a Vikings fan named JC Goosen at that game, hopefully. So, yeah, who knows? We'll see. Maybe. Just putting that out there. But yeah, I think that we do end up losing this game if Rodgers is still on the roster. But I think it's close. I think it's closer. I think both the Green Bay games are going to be close. Because we've played well in Lambeau the past couple of years.
Yeah, I think we split. I have an L as well here. The Adam Thielen comments are funny about the stadium. They're hilarious.
The high school stadium?
Yeah, glorified high school field, man.
That's right. Bleachers.
I think we split against Green Bay. I think the House of Pain shocks Aaron Rodgers completely. I think this game's going to be a lot more comfortable in the pocket. We won last year at Lambeau. I mean, some might say it was lucky. I thought it was a really good game by our team, but I don't think they're going to win this one just because. I mean, I don't think we beat Green Bay at Lambeau twice in 2 years in a row. I don't think we ever really do that. So if Rodgers is on the roster, it's going to be an L for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah. So now that we've gone through both of the Green Bay games, let me make this completely clear. Okay, I have after week 17 the Vikings at 10-6. I believe you do as well.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers is not on the Green Bay Packers, after
Yep.
week 17, the Vikings will be 12-4.
Okay.
If Rodgers is not on the roster for Green Bay for both of those games, they will win them, and they will win them easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Just put it out there. Because quite honestly, if Rodgers isn't on the roster,
the team's nothing.
Wouldn't be shocked if Adams demands a trade.
Yep. Yeah,
So
I don't disagree with that.
Just putting it out there. Just saying. The only thing that kind of sucks is if Aaron isn't on the roster by week 17, this game probably isn't a Sunday night game. Because it probably gets flexed out. Because Green Bay will not be doing well if Aaron Rodgers is not their quarterback. So
exactly.
But that does bring us to week 18, the final week of the 2021-2022 regular season against the Chicago Bears here at the US Bank. A nooner game. Wow, crazy. Feels so strange to be finishing out the season with Chicago here at home. There's definitely some like greatest hits in this schedule for sure. A lot of very familiar things. I have us winning this game, and I know that they have given us some struggles, even with frickin' Mitchell Trubisky under center. But I think like this is going to be the point where if Chicago's doing well enough to get to the playoffs, or like looks like they're going to get in the playoffs, they're going to be stumbling into the playoffs. I could even see them being in a situation where they're fighting for a wild card spot here. But yeah, I do. I have us winning this game because I think that, again, my official, as of right now, with Rodgers on the Green Bay roster prediction is 10-6 going into this game. But if Rodgers is off, then we're 12-4, in which case we could be fighting for a number 1 seed in the NFC easily.
We need Rodgers gone. Trade him now.
Yeah. And I think that's I think that our team with a 12 o'clock game at home, finishing out the season fighting for a number 1 seed against Chicago, can do that. I think that we can. I don't know what you have, but
it's a toss-up. If Chicago's playing for something, if Chicago's playing for something here, I actually think we might lose. It's just like we never beat them at home for some reason. Or if this team's like 6 wins and they're not really playing for anything, I can see the Vikings just pulling out kind of in a sloppy game. I don't really know here. I'm just gonna say W, but I'm not gonna be shocked if they lose this game. Even like just this would be the shocker game that we. I mean, it's not even a shocker.
I feel like you're leaning more towards L. It's okay to say L.
I'll you know what? I'll say L. It's just this is the shocker game. I don't. Yeah.
Dude,
we struggle against these guys at home. I don't know what it is, man. It's just weird.
In the end, you have them at 10-7.
Yep.
And I have them at 11-6. Those are playoff records. With 7 teams from each conference in the playoffs, those are playoff records. And again, if Rodgers is off the roster, I think that yours goes up to 12-5.
Yep.
And mine is up to 13-4.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a scary team going into the playoffs, in my opinion. Based on record, obviously.
Yep.
But man, I think that there are a whole bunch of different ways that these games can go. I think that obviously, just like everything, we never really know. I can tell you, going back to the beginning of the season, just based off the opponents that we play out of the gate, if we have lost more than 4 games by week 6 after the bye, there might be talks of Kellen Mond. playing a quarterback.
If this was
I'm
last
just
year
putting it out there.
and if this was last year and how the season started, Kellen Mond is for sure in.
I'm just putting it out there. Like I truly believe that at that point, especially with a week 8 trade deadline coming up, who knows what else is going to be going on in the league at that point. Kellen Mond could easily be kind of looking at a starting position. Obviously, that is not the reality that I want to be living in, to be completely honest. But yeah, man. So 11-6 and 10-7. I dig it. I think it's great. I think those are 2 really solid records. And again, there's a situation in which both those records are improved quite a bit as well. So that is very, very likely, probably. So
yeah.
Well, this has been fun, man. I'm so excited to book this and kind of come back to it as the season goes. For sure. Especially just like as things kind of unfold, preseason, having Denver and then the Colts and then going to Kansas City. Wait to go to Kansas City again, get down there in late August. That would be dope. Just, how the roster is looking going into the season, any injuries that come up, trades that happen, even quite honestly, things like contract extensions too can really propel players to shine at times. So there's a lot left to be solidified for this Minnesota Vikings team, but I think that we are trending up immensely, no matter what way you look at it in this current moment. That's for sure. And that's not being a homer. That's just like, I'm trying to be as realistic as possible when I look at these games, and some of them could flop the other way too, but just based off what we saw last season and the fact that we were probably a total of 5 to 10 plays away from getting like 4 more wins.
That's with that bad of a defense.
With that bad of a defense, that many injuries, that's insane. Yeah. So we should be trending up immensely for sure. Anything else that you have about the upcoming season, buddy?
I'm ready, man. Can it be July already?
Yeah, right. Absolutely, man. I just want some training camp.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I guess the last thing that I want to bring up is just like how freaking happy I am that Minnesotans and Americans in general have like done what they've done so far as this whole situation with COVID-19 and the pandemic, getting beyond this hump that at times seemed like freaking Mount Everest. Like there was just no way we were going to peak and get over the top of this thing. But we're already getting freaking updates that like, mask mandates are coming down, and
the bank's going to be rocking. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait, man.
We're going to be seeing freaking fans, fully packed stadiums here in Minnesota.
It's so exciting.
Cannot be more excited. So with that, we will end the episode for the week here. As always, please make sure that you check out our website at www.vikeswithamic.com. All of our previous episodes are archived there. We appreciate your guys' support in any way, shape, or form. Make sure to follow us on social media at Vikes with a Mic, and you can follow the host's Twitter accounts as well. We do have a YouTube. Hopefully you're watching the video. Leave us a comment, like, all that good stuff. Yeah, man, I cannot be more excited. So we will be back when there's something to record about. Not a ton going on as far as the NFL and the Minnesota Vikings. But obviously, hopefully, information to come, maybe some signings, rookie OTA, mini camps, all that good stuff, performances. So we will keep you all updated with that. But until then, thank you so much for watching. As always, have a great rest of your week, and skol!